It's like absolutely boiling. I'm not wearing a shirt. So recently I've been doing a lot of introspection and inner work, really deciding or like visualizing the type of man that I want to be 5 years from now. I've been trying to find out what my flaws are, like, you know, those deep flaws that you won't really realize unless you look for them. And you may have noticed if you've been following my YouTube channel to my 510 subscribers. The number is increasing. This month I've probably posted less than I've posted in most months. I'm going to pick that up now because I'm done with this introspection. One of the things I did was visualize the type of person that I want to be 5 years from now, who that person is, what he's good at, how he lives his life, how he spends his time, so that I could act and in turn become that type of person. Once I found out who I wanted to become, or once I defined who I wanted to become, the next thing that I had to do is ask myself, who am I now? Who is Takura Jagachira? And you know, when I asked myself this question, the very first things that came to my mind were things such as entrepreneur, young successful man, what else? Leader, African leader. See, there's nothing inherently wrong with the things that I've just named, like he's an entrepreneur, he's a leader, he's a whatever. But the one thing that's wrong with them is that these things are titles. I was basing my identity off of titles. So when I asked myself who I was, I listed titles. See, the problem with attaching titles to your identity is that titles move people. So like one person will have a title, then 10 years later another person will have a title. When you attach titles to your identity, you begin to walk on a tightrope. Because the thing with titles is that they shift. So one person will have a title, then 5 years later the title will go to another person. So as soon as you lose that title, as soon as you lose the thing that you identified with, let's say you were, I don't know, last year I was head boy of my high school. So if I attached that title to my identity and I identified as, you know what, I am the head boy. And when someone asked me who is Takura Jagachira, and I would say, I'm the head boy. As soon as I lost the title, as I did because, you know, I had to finish high school. You know, I could have been head boy for 3 years, you know, just keep on repeating. But anyways, as soon as I lost that title, if my identity was attached to that title, I would lose my identity. I would feel lost. I wouldn't know who I am. And that is something you should stray away from. Of course, these titles are good. Like, it shows that you've done something meaningful with your life. You've achieved some sort of success. But your identity, who you are, when you ask yourself, who am I? It shouldn't be attached to a title. It should be attached to values, characteristics, things that can't be taken away from you. The reason why this is so important is because if it's based on things that can't be taken away from you, you will remain the same in every situation. You will remain rooted whether things are good or bad. You won't need to be in a school environment where you're a head boy to feel like, yes, okay, yeah, I am Takura Jagachira. You'll feel like yourself wherever you are. So, you know, after this revelation, I had to ask myself, okay, who am I? Who is Takura Jagachira? And the two things I wrote are, number one, a child of God. Number two, a man of integrity, respect, and empathy. You see, these are things that can never be taken away from me. My integrity, respect, and empathy can never be taken away from me. I am the only one who chooses whether to let those things go. This is going to be a side topic about respect, integrity, and empathy. I really think that you should incorporate these into your values. Because imagine a man who acts with integrity all the time, who acts with respect and empathy. I don't think you can be a better man if you always act with those three values. And I think it's impossible to live an unfulfilling life if you always embody those three values. So right now, if you're watching this, you're aspiring towards something, you probably have some title or you want to achieve some title. Do not root your identity in those titles that you're chasing after. Root your identity in something that can never be taken away from you. Because right now, my integrity can never be taken away from me. My respect can never be taken away. So sit down, grab a journal, and really ask yourself, who am I? Write down the thing that comes to your mind first, like the instinctive thing that you think about when someone asks, who are you? Write that down. And then now, really think about who you want to be. And when you ask yourself who you want to be, or when you define who you want to be, don't list titles. Like, fair enough, like those titles are important. Those things are important. Like, let's say successful entrepreneur, those things are important. But start with the core values that can never be taken away from you. So if you're religious, you can be like, I'm a child of God. Or you can be like, I'm a man of integrity, respect, and empathy. Simple things like that. Things that can never be taken away from you. That's it for today. Cheers, gents.